Welcome to the free audio rendering of Not Without Scars 2. Such an insightful and impactful work must be accessible to the countless number of people living similar life experiences. Becoming a best-selling author pales in comparison to creating a tool capable of instilling hope in the multitude of people trapped in the valley of decision. My greatest profit comes in helping others emerge victorious over their life struggles. My goal is to encourage individuals to follow their dream. My message: you must never quit on your faith, pursuing your aspiration or vision. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Take a moment, invite your family, friends, and acquaintances and enemies to listen to this work chapter by chapter. It is free to listen as well as free to subscribe. Peace, love, and phenomenal blessing.
How do I write my life story? I know hurt and pain. I don't like either one, whether physical or emotional. Herein contains my story, Not Without Scars, Part 2. Optimism, perseverance, persistence, resilience. 2 decades of personal struggle. Optimism. I faced the new millennium with hopefulness. Perseverance. My ego, my humble beginnings, my desire to achieve never allow me to turn away from a difficult task. Persistence. Opposition should be anticipated as an effective strategy to victory surfaces. Resilience. Difficulties do not automatically spell termination. Scars reveal my imperfection as reminders of past episodes of pain, sorrow, or triumph. Scars can tell beautiful story endings or relay misery that wishes to remain anonymous. This work is meant to help others who have experienced decades of struggle. When struggles appear to never end, you must get through the night and face the challenge of a new dawn with fresh hope.
Chapter 22, The Urban Life. Introduction. I had not lived in Cleveland since the 1990s. Prior to my conviction, I had lived in a gated community in Solon. Living in a rental home in the Glenville section of Cleveland was a culture shock. Walking to the bus stop each morning to catch a bus to cut grass and clean up vacant lots were tests that I had never envisioned having to share as part of reconstructing my life. Rapidly, I began to face the reality of how humbling life could be. How long will this chapter last? What would it take to escape this recurring nightmare that was playing out every day? No surprise, Jacqui stopped by with the divorce papers. This was truly Not Without Scars, Part 2. Every road had to end somewhere, but I could clearly distinguish that I was just entering on a long highway without a clear indication of the many miles separating me from my final destination. The loud music blasted from neighbors upstairs, in the backyard, and across the street. Yes, I thought about the many things past and present as melodies and loud bass lines careened off my eardrum. Indeed, I wish that I could turn back the hands of time. As carefully as I had thought things through, no scenario such as I was living had ever entered my mind. Never had I imagined that nearly all pulpits would be closed to me. What had I done to any individual in the Black community? My beef was with the United States government, the Internal Revenue Service. I was being treated as if I had raped somebody's wife. The wound hurt each time I approached a brother and was dismissed. I tried unsuccessfully to give away solution to community problems, only to be disrespected as irrelevant. Phone calls were not returned. Face-to-face meetings were disingenuous. Programs that I proposed were rejected as if I had no idea what I was talking about. My imperfection was beginning to shine through. Each quickly healing scar only served to remind me of a past episode of my life. Revisiting bygone events was precisely what I had wished to avoid. My goal was to stay focused on the future. I had accepted the present status as a temporary condition. Pain, sorrow, or a triumph, the current plight was only a momentary stop in identifying with my urban brothers and sisters. Scars can tell beautiful stories. The endings can relay misery. The faces often wish to remain anonymous. My neighbors probably viewed me as another old man approaching the end of life, broken by years of urban decay. Without a struggle and a vision, I could easily become addicted to alcohol as my only coping mechanism and playing the lottery as my only hope of escape. My best laid plans had not exempted me from the wounds of being in poverty, aging, and living in an urban setting. The battle for creativity had taken on a fresh location. Historical. The good life is one inspired by love and guided by knowledge. Bertrand Russell. Back to a beginning in a foreign land. The Great Migration by blacks from the rural South held the promise of grand expectation. The migration trails usually were determined by the modes of transportation, the trailway bus, Greyhound bus, or the train station. The destination of these modes of transportation served to deliver blacks on a journey of hope to a relative or a friend in a particular city. For some, it was a matter of how much distance the meager funds in their pockets could pay for a ticket. As a young boy living in Falkland, North Carolina, several buses passed my house at different times during the day. The one with the farthest destination intrigued me, New York. I had decided that was where I depart apartheid rural America to pursue my own promised land dream. That pursuit began at 16 years of age. At 65, nearly a half century later, I would once again be in pursuit of my very own promised land dream. I knew that dreams could be achieved, goals could be accomplished, personal aspiration can become a reality. Faith, determination, timing, and courage all had a significant role in ascertaining success or what dazzled our mind. Success, I discovered, was less elusive than I originally thought. However, it was the definition of success that had all the variables that produced the illusion of perceived success. Especially, I discovered that at each realm of academic, commercial, or social environments, different people were standing in a corner arbitrarily determining who had arrived at success and what success actually was. A half century since departing rural eastern North Carolina, I had determined that staying true to who I was the real factor that determined whether or not I had lived a successful life. With that definition settled in my spirit, I could pursue a good life being the best Mark Carvin MCOs possible. I was unique and lived a life inspired by a love for myself. This was not a selfish characteristic. Love for myself had produced loyalty, love for family, commitment to friends, and the strength to stand up for myself and others as core values before I had ever heard the term core value. My love and appreciation for knowledge functioned as an impetus throughout my sojourn to keep moving forward. I would never accept complacency as my lot in life. I feasted on the uncanny ability to grasp the knowledge around me, even when others attempted to shield it from me. It was an innate gift that enabled me to peer to what made systems work and why certain individuals would guard access with their lives. Knowledge I perceived as a key element to gaining power. Therefore, knowledge became my guide through the fluidity attached to life. I found myself back in an urban setting, perceiving it as a foreign land. So much had rapidly changed. I came equipped with knowledge that presents 5 decades earlier. That did not translate into an easy assignment. Technology was on the rise, but the sensitivity and caring of people were on the decline. Social Black experience. I have discovered in life that there are ways of getting almost anywhere you want to go, if you really want to go. Langston Hughes. Help me, I'm falling and stagnant. The Black urban experience has a story that is unlike all others who have had to venture through ghetto existence. The differential for Blacks, their skin color. It has historically acted as a stoppage to progress. When Blacks have collectively banded together to form their own economic and social life distinct to their culture, the dominant races have literally enacted violence to destroy their path to independence and sustainability. Therefore, the easy path has been invoked. Stay in your place, a subservient role, work hard, get a good job, and do not get too high-minded. Getting to where you want to go as an individual is different from where an individual visualizes where an entire race of people should venture. To get where you wish to go as an individual is much easier to achieve than bringing others along with you. Time and time again, I really want to go higher in life, but I do not wish to go alone. I want my people with me. I want my people free of the fear of the authority, corporate captains, political tyrants, government fiefdoms, trigger-happy policing, and poverty roles. I have become a flawed visionary. I have proven that I am flawed, but the vision is not. I will get to where I really want to go while I shall create and lead the roadmap for my people to follow. During the process of my journey, I have grown tired, weary, and frustrated, but I really want to realize my dream for my people. So I get tired, but my strength gets renewed. Occasionally, my head becomes weary. Then I awake with a fresh idea and a new dawn to work with. Many times I face frustrations. Then I hold a grandchild or visualize a glimmer of hope in the energy of little people playing. Then the light comes on again. I really want to go on this journey, no matter how dangerous or how long it may turn out to be. We now have the resources to overcome. We now need the manifested love for one another, trust in the greater good of one another, and the faith to commit to the betterment of one another. I returned to the urban setting, needing help to become stable. Without help, I was constantly following as the systemic rules of bureaucratic institutions continually create new guidelines and policies to assure that my free fall goes unchecked. Without an outside lifeline, I will remain stagnant at best. Fast forward to COVID-19 pandemic of 2020. I own a small business. I could not receive any funds from the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP loan application because of question number 5. Have you ever committed a felony, been on parole or probation? If you answer yes, your application will not be processed. What am I supposed to do? Do I pull myself up by those invisible boots that the system sees that I am not wearing? Paying a debt to society by a prison system should not include a forever interest-bearing account for an indefinite future. How many brothers and sisters are crying out, "Help me, I'm falling," and stagnant in an urban trap? Theological. And they shall rebuild the ancient ruins. They shall raise up the former desolations and renew the ruined cities, the devastations of many generations. Isaiah 61:4, Amplified Bible Classic Edition. I need a lamp for my feet. I am fully convinced that we, Black people, oppressed people, can rebuild the ruined urban areas. If not the same physical location, we can build communities where cultural pride, economic thriving, and social harmony can exist. The funding is already in the hands of Black men and women. There is no longer any need to wait for others to have pity and do it for us. The expertise has been ascertained. Blacks work in nearly every institution that enables the world, this nation, to thrive and expand. The knowledge of how institutions and financial conglomerates operate. The vision has to take root for multiple people within the race to emerge from the ruins where they are forced to exist on a daily basis. We must overcome the complete emptiness that surrounds lives in most urban settings. Anguish, misery, and loneliness must be annihilated. The state of desolation can be eliminated by a collaborative effort of those fortunate sons and daughters. Those possessors of resources must hear the message and receive the message with a sincere faith commitment as the due process of a well-designed infrastructure. When I walk through and live in the valley, urban area of the shadow of death, I need a lamp to my feet. I have walked by faith and not by sight nearly all my 7 decades and counting on this planet. I need a lamp, a light to see where I'm going for the people to follow over these last days of my existence.